Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again with another disturbing Jay Slater video. I hope every single one of you are doing well. There's a few things that I want to talk about in this video. It might be a short one. So this person you can see on the screen dancing with Jay Slater's mum goes by the name of Sol Wilkins. Now this would have been the Jay Slater friends who dived into Rocky's live a few days ago, saying whatever he said, and we are going to listen to that part of the live. But it's extremely interesting how Jay Slater's friends, a real friend, a genuine friend, came across the way he did in Rocky's live when this is all meant to be an accident. This is all meant to be a tragic accident, but here we have Sol Wilkins, one of Jay Slater's genuine friends, dived into Rocky's live with a level of energy that made me feel like this guy doesn't believe a word any of these pricks are saying. Oh well, we're going to get to the audio itself. We're going to see how Rocky reacts. We're going to hear what Sol had to say. Make sure you hit the like button and all of that. But before we do that, let's take ourselves back to what we were talking about in the last video. Now, in the last video, we spoke about the court document, a report that was published in that court document, signed off by the judge, confirming that Lucy was at the Airbnb. In fact, it confirmed that Lucy had been staying at the Airbnb with Jay. According to what that report said, Lucy woke up and realized Jay was no longer in the house. He was then told by someone in the house that Jay had left, gone for a walk or gone wherever he went. That's what the court doc tells us. Now, the court doc doesn't make any sense at that point because we were never told about Lucy being at the Airbnb in terms of staying at that Airbnb. We were never told that that Airbnb belonged to a mate. Who is the mate, by the way? Because as far as we're aware, Ayub rented that Airbnb, so she couldn't be referring to Ayub's house. Alongside that, she did mention that Ayub is a stranger. Her initial statement claims that Jay went to the Airbnb with two strangers. She later on reiterated that to other journalists as well as to other people on Facebook. She claims that Jay didn't know these two strangers whatsoever. How comes the report within that court document says otherwise? How can a court document say one thing, but the characters themselves within the media say a totally different story? When you think about what that part of the court document says, when it mentions Jay and Lucy were staying at a friend's house in Masca, it makes you wonder, why did Jay ask for bus times? Why did Jay walk up the mountain? Why would Jay walk off-road when Brad called him? It was also mentioned in the document, as well as by the Spanish guys that were doing the podcast, they claim that Jay would have survived the fall, got up, and continued to walk. This would have been after making the phone call to Lucy. However, Lucy was at the Airbnb when she received the phone call from Jay at 8:50. Exactly what we were told, lying in a ditch, cut by a cactus, low battery, think I'm about to die. That's exactly what those Spanish guys said. So they're saying that information was then communicated to Lucy via the phone whilst Lucy was at the Airbnb. So again, if you take all of that as gospel, tell me how Lucy and Ayub and Rocky wasn't able to jump in a car and go 15 minutes down the road to go and save Jay, go and help Jay. What makes it even worse is that they had the screenshot pinged location. So although they was at the Airbnb, which is only 15 minutes down the road, they had a screenshot ping location of where Jay was. And instead of going to that location, Lucy claims she went to the police station. However, according to these two Spanish guys that done the podcast, one of them being a criminologist, they basically claim that the police went to the Airbnb before Lucy even filed the missing persons report. So you're telling me Jay wandered off at the house, phoned you lot, told you lot it was in a bad way, you sat there and decided to call the police. At that point, you called the police. So the police, what, turned up to the Airbnb? You sat there waiting for the police to turn up to the Airbnb. I mean, I don't get it. And then you decided you're just going to go to the police station 9 p.m. at night. In that Spanish podcast, they're claiming that Lucy made the report at 9 p.m. at night. And maybe, just maybe, it was the mainstream media that got the times mixed up and told us, no, it was 9 o'clock in the morning. Or maybe these guys have got it wrong and it was 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. But according to these Spanish guys, in the podcast and according to this court document, the missing persons report was filed at 9 p.m. in the evening. And that would have been on the 17th of June. So that right there just makes you think this is all a cover-up. This is all BS. How the hell did Jay leave the Airbnb at 8 o'clock, see Ophelia, ask Ophelia for the bus time? Because you've got Ayub's story telling us that Ophelia used the buzzer to wake him up. She wanted Ayub to move the car. She was there with her husband, allegedly. The only problem we have with Ayub's side of the story is Ophelia doesn't mention about any interactions with anyone at the Airbnb. Remember, Affilia's statement is she just saw a dazed looking Jay standing beside the bus stop. There is no mention of knocking on the Airbnb door and seeing Jay coming out of the Airbnb. There was no mention of interacting with the people at the Airbnb whatsoever. There was no mention of asking Ayub to move his car and then seeing Jay who come out of the Airbnb. There was no mention of that whatsoever. It was just, I saw this dazed looking Jay standing at the bus stop. He asked me for the bus time. Shortly after, he asked me again. And then I went home. And then she says 15 minutes later, she's driving up. She sees the guy walking in the road and she tells herself that's the same guy that was asking her for the bus times. Affilia's statement is scripted. It was given to her by the owner of the Airbnb. It's one of the reasons why she doesn't mention any interactions with anyone at that Airbnb. Her focus is to tell people she saw Jay at the bus stop and then she saw Jay walking the wrong way. That's her focus. That's what she was told to say. One of the reasons why I know that's a fact is because when Warren and Zach turned up to the cafe, what did she do? She pulled her chairs in and she shut her shutters. She didn't offer him a tea. She didn't offer him a coffee. She didn't offer him any type of support. Bearing in mind, she was the last person, according to her, she was the last person to officially see Jay alive. She was the last person to see Jay alive, but she doesn't want to provide any support to the family. I'll just pull my chairs in and shut my shutters and hide away. The reason she done that is because she knows she's been lying. There's a few things that Ayub says in a recent podcast, and it's kind of like he forgets Ophelia even exists. Because he basically says, lucky for me, Jay called his friends after leaving the Airbnb. Jay called his friends after leaving the Airbnb. You see that right there? That's where they come in and corroborated the story. Ayub says he's lucky because Jay spoke to his friends after he left the Airbnb, saying he left the gaff, he left that spot. So he's told his friends that he's left that spot, allegedly, according to Ayub. What Ayub actually says in the live stream is, if Jay never would have phoned his friends and let them know that he had left the Airbnb, then he probably would have been in prison. He said if Jay would have never have called his friends after leaving that Airbnb to let them know that he left that Airbnb, then he would be in jail right now until he could prove his innocence. That's exactly what he said. That's so weird. What do you mean? Firstly, you forgot all about Ophelia. And secondly, what a weird thing to say, that he called his friends to let them know he left the Airbnb. Again, the vibe that I get from Ayub when he says that, it's like the friends just said it to make sure that no one got in trouble. Literally, the friends told the media that they spoke to Jay after he had left that Airbnb because we're trying to prevent people from going jail. Because something serious happened to Jay, clearly. Based on that court doc, and Lucy being at the Airbnb, according to what that court doc says, according to what that report actually says, and her not filing a missing persons report until 9 p.m. later on that day, it makes me think, what the hell was you guys doing all day? When you got the screenshot, the ping screenshot location, what did you do with it? You just sat at the Airbnb and hoped that Jay would come back, even though he just phoned you and said he feels like he's going to die? Sent you a screenshot of the location. It was only about 15 minutes behind the Airbnb, according to Ayub. So what did you guys do? You done nothing. Or you're just all lying. And that's what it is. You're all lying. Like nothing else explains it. You're clearly all lying. The stories that you have given are lies. There's so many contradictions, so many holes in everyone's story. And then we get this court document that says something totally different to what they've been telling us initially. Ultimately, more could have been done to save Jay's life if Jay genuinely just wandered off. He went for a walk. He went up the mountain. He wanted to explore. But even that just doesn't make any sense with Lucy being at the Airbnb. I mean, literally with Lucy being at the Airbnb, it destroys the whole narrative. Their whole narrative is destroyed. Even when you take yourself back to when Ophelia made her statement and done that video with her back to cam, they were making it look like Ophelia was just a local resident. They were making it look like Ophelia was an independent witness who was just a local from down the road. She was just a local resident from down the road. That's what they were making it look like. When really and truly, Ophelia was never an independent witness. Ophelia was connected to the Airbnb that Jay was staying in. Other than Ophelia, no one else saw Jay. No one. Even though it would have taken him 30 minutes just to get to the point of entrance to the ravine. The bit where he decides to go on the footpath that Warren and Rachel and all of those guys were walking on. in the videos that we watched of theirs. It would have taken him 30 minutes to get to that point. Then he would have went off-road onto the path. I can only assume that's when he would have spoken to Brad, if he would have spoken to Brad. Maybe Brad just said that because, like I said earlier, it prevents people from going to jail. Back to this man on the screen, man like Soul. This is Jay's genuine friend. I'm not too sure about Brad's, but I am sure about Soul. I did find a picture of Soul and Jay and Brad, actually. Brad was in the picture as well at some sort of festival. We've seen the way Brad's kind of carried himself since Jay passed away. Hasn't really proved himself to be the best friend he claims. On the other hand, you have Soul here, Soul Wilkin, dancing with Jay's mum. And this is who I can say is a true friend of Jay Slater's. If you switch over to Soul Wilkins' Instagram, in his DP picture, he's got a picture of himself with Jay Slater, that young McKinnon kid. He's in there, and I know that's one of Jay Slater's bestest friends. Here on this tab right here is a tab dedicated to Jay. The main picture for this tab is him and Jay when they look about 7, 8 years old. So you can tell that Soul and Jay go way back. And even this year, Soul has posted pictures of Jay in memory of his boy on his Instagram. That right there is a clear indicator that Soul Wilkin is a true friend of Jay Slater's, a real friend, a genuine friend. And therefore, I'm not surprised as to why he jumps into that live the other night and let them know how he felt. Haven't seen nothing from Brad, nothing from Lucy, nothing from Brandon. All three of them who knew what happened to Jay, truly knew what happened to Jay, have all been hiding ever since. But Soul, his real, true friends, come out of the woodwork and let his voice be heard. Let's check this out.
They don't care. Honestly.
Yo, we saying Soul.
Okay, yo, I'm a mate of Jay Slater. Yo.
Oh, that's happening, G. You good?
I'm a close mate of Jay Slater. You know what happened on that night? You know the fight happened in the nightclubs and that, and the watch got taken by you and Abba, innit?
Oh, wow. So he said right there, the fight that happened in the nightclub and the watch got taken by you and Ayub, innit? That's what he said. The fight in the nightclub and the watch got taken by you and Ayub.
You what?
You what?
A watch got took by you and Ayub.
Bro, what are you talking about now?
Yeah. And you told Jay to come to the Airbnb with you, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you're going like.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Nah, I know that's a fact. I know it for a fact.
He knows it for a fact. I wonder who told him that. Has to be someone in his circle. Has to be someone close to him. Soul must have access to Brad. He must have access to Lucy, Brandon. He must have been able at some point to sit down with one of them and say, bro, what happened? Like, why did Jay end up at the Airbnb with these two dons? It would be interesting to hear what he had to say. Like, what was he told? Like, what did Brad tell him? What did Lucy tell him?
All right, man. This guy's gone mad.
What do you mean this guy's gone mad?
What are you
saying?
Someone took a watch.
What do you mean this guy's gone mad? I know it's a fact. Yeah? Hey, listen, let's be honest now. Rocky does look a bit shaky. The reason I think he's uncomfortable is because he hasn't got Abe on the live stream to talk for him. Remember, Rocky doesn't know what to say. This is Abe Qasim's story. Like I told you guys months ago, Rocky's just a fool guy for someone else. He's just standing in for someone else. And I reckon he's standing in for Brandon. But just like that court document says, Lucy was at the Airbnb. I also believe Brandon would have been at the Airbnb as well. I've been thinking that they was all at the Airbnb, coming together and corroborating a story to try and make it make sense as to why Jay just wandered off and why you're going to find Jay at the bottom of a ravine whenever you find him.
What are you saying?
I'm a close mate of Jay, innit? I know how you've been.
He was just about to say, I know what happened. He was just about to say that, I know what happened. But I want to know who told Soul that. Who told him that? Who told him that Abe and Rocky stole a watch and made Jay go to the Airbnb with them? If that is the case, why would they make Jay go to the Airbnb with them? Who told Soul that they made Jay go to the Airbnb with him? It's the same way we've sat here for months and months and months and said, look, there's people that have been playing mind games, have been mentally manipulating the way people think, what they feel, and ultimately what they believe. That potentially could have happened to the likes of Soul, whereby he believes that the reason behind Jay going to the Airbnb is because some sort of watch was stolen. But remember, I told you guys the picture of Jay in the back of the car with the caption saying, "I've just stolen an AP and I'm about to sell it for 10 quid." That picture was purposely put together to manipulate your perception and make you believe Jay done something wrong, and that's the reason why he's gone off to the Airbnb.
Rocky took a watch. A fight happened.
A fight happened.
Yeah.
Is it someone? Is this the real soul? Like,
Is this the real Soul? Like, sounds extremely confused. I think he's thinking of Harvey Soul. So even when he come in originally and he said, "Yeah, I'm Soul, I'm one of Jay's friends," he said, "Oh, what's going on, my G?" Like, the way he responded is like he thought he knew who it was. And this is the reason why he said, "Is this the real Soul?" Like, what real Soul are we talking about? Oh yeah, Harvey Soul.
What do you mean? Is this the real soul, mate?
Yeah.
Search. What do you mean, mate? Search my name up, Daily Mail.
Exactly. What do you mean? Is this the real Soul?
okay.
Is this any way of helping us sort of like think about sort of like the rest of the world?
No, do you know what it is? It's like,
What's going on? Corruption.
like, it's just like the same. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, no, do you know what it is? Tell him, Ross. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like literally, kids are going left, right, and centre missing. Yeah, throughout cities and all this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Man,
no police could.
anything to say. He hasn't got anything to say about what Soul said. Nothing whatsoever. And the reason he's got nothing to say is because he doesn't know what to say. He wasn't involved in whatever happened to Jay. He was just with Ayub, linking up with an old mate, and decided to do Ayub a favor because Ayub reassured him that everything would be good.
Can actually trace them. How the fuck can they not trace them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how the fuck can they not trace one person? But like literally, if they want to find our ass for literally shoplifting or doing something, they'll fucking find us in 5 minutes and come around our house and bang us up.
So true.
No, yeah, no, bro. Like the guy came in and chat to him about the watch again. I'm thinking, bro, like, you're not bored, bro.
So what are you saying? Are you saying anything like this, or what was it a different matter? I was saying, sorry.
What do you mean different, mate? I'm just saying Ayub and Rocky took a watch on that night and told Jay to come to the Airbnb with him.
What?
That's a fact.
What? So someone got stole something or something? Or what?
No.
See, the thing is, Rocky's not even denying it at this point. It's not like Rocky's saying, "Bro, what are you talking about, man? Come off my live stream. How you want to hear that chatting bear waffle about man stole this watch and blah, blah, blah." Bro, he's actually looking at his phone as if he is panicking to a degree. Like his anxiety levels are just hitting 100 and he's asking for quack to help him. He literally looks like he's panicking inside right now.
Jay was absolutely.
Like he literally doesn't know what to say. Like he's like, "Oh my God." Like,
So anyway, so what do you think about all this corruption and the gunman and shit?
like he's waiting for someone just to kind of change the subject like this guy Ross is. Like Ross is changing the subject or trying to change the subject. This is absolutely crazy. This makes you look super duper guilty, man.
You are?
It makes me think, hold on. It makes me think about something else because in my opinion, I don't really believe that Jay was involved in stealing any watch. Now, they could have been involved in stealing a watch. We see Rocky bare flaunting his watch the other day like man's never had a Rolex before. That watch was identical to the watch that was taken from the pot of paper calf. So when we're talking about stealing Rolexes, perhaps the one that Rocky's got is the one that was from the pot of paper calf. Inside job settings would be the reason why Rocky's going all quiet, doesn't know what to say because he knows he was recently involved in stealing a watch. It wasn't on the day that Jay went to the Airbnb. It was potentially 2 weeks before Jay even landed in Tenerife.
What are you saying about the corruption and the gunman and shit, Jay? Soul.
You are?
Man called Soul Jay, you know, wow.
What are you saying about the corruption and gunman and shit, yeah? Where they still weak kids and fucking like literally people go missing every day and shit like this.
Well, I mean, you can think what you think, mate, but fuck it. Everyone knows the fact. And Rocky.
Bruv, Soul is not here to talk about government taking kids and that. He wants to stick it on these two dons about what happened to Jay Slater, bro. Clearly, the guy is still seeking justice, isn't he? The guy still wants to know the truth. He's been given some information. I'm not too sure who he got that information from. Could be Brad, could be Lucy. Ultimately, for Soul to jump on this live and make a statement Not even question, man. Make a statement. It shows that he's looking for justice. He's still looking for truth. He still wants answers. He still wants to know what happened to one of his best friends, Jay Slater.
You know who Brandon Hodge is. They know both of them know exactly everything about Brandon Hodge.
He's pinging off the...
He's literally just said there that Ayub and Rocky both know who Hodgie is, and Soul would know that. He would know if they knew who he was. Like Ayub said, same circle.
Yeah, whatever Rocky, mate, but you know, and I know, mate.
You know, and I know, mate, and Rocky has got nothing to say.
All right, mate.
All right, mate. I've only just realized that Soul was actually in Tenerife as well, looking for Jay. Where was Brad? Where was Lucy? See, this girl, Aaliyah, on the left, she was there, but she's Lucy's friend. So where was Lucy? Why was Lucy not here in this picture? Why was Brad not here in this picture? Massive shout out to Soul Walking, because that's what you call a real one. The moment he heard about Jay, he jumps on a plane, he flew out there to support the family. Since then, not only has he been supporting the family, but he's still here seeking justice for his best friend. To a degree, it does sound like he doesn't believe Jay would have just accidentally fallen off a cliff. Ladies and gentlemen, comment down below. Let me know exactly what you are thinking right about now. I'm going to try and respond to as many comments as I possibly can. Make sure you hit that like button. Do subscribe to the channel if we are newly watching. Remember, we are on the road to 50,000 subscribers. So tell a friend to subscribe to this channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.